Hello and welcome everyone, it's Shanna. We're continuing to work through my first set of KCC 13, and I've got sketches 10, 11, and 12 here today that I'm going to be working with. I've got not too shabby ephemera and enamel dots and paper that I'm working with. So we've got 10, 11, and 12. And I've just got my ephemera and my enamel dots. I'm just going to lay them aside. I've tried to pull together all the elements inside my envelopes. So let's just get started on 10 and see how this goes. So I'm realizing in these three I don't have any of my card bases in there. So I'm just grabbing some top folding. I've already got these cut 4 1/4 by 11. And I'm just scoring all three of them. And I'm making all three of them top folding. They all appear to be top folding on the sketch. So I'm just going to run with these and just get them all ready so we can just work through all three of these cards and have them ready. So I'll put my score buddy away and I've got my card base and I'm just going to pull my elements out of my little plastic sheath. And I've even put some enamel dots in there so that I knew what I had in mind for the card. Now this has coffee beans and coffee, and it's even got some really fine words on it. I'm just going to bring in my Barely Art Glue and get it laid down on here. And again, I'm leaving in all of my errors. I've got sketch 10 listed there so you can see what we're going for. We've got a background panel and we've got 4 layered pieces on the bottom and then some additional layers that we're going to add. So I'm going to bring in this Tuscan Spellbinders Essential Cardstock. And I've just rounded the corners of it. I thought that would give me a different look. I don't very often round corners, and I thought I'm going to get that little corner rounder out and just do that just for a little bit of a change. Now I'm looking at these panels and gluing them up when I shouldn't be. So I go ahead and glue this down, and then I go ahead and I'm completely ignoring the sketch. I think I'm multitasking. I may be watching something as I'm doing this, which was a mistake. And so I'm going to decide which side I want to lay down on this, and I'm going to glue this down. And then I'm going to look at these 4 strips here, and I'm going to realize that I have made a big boo-boo. I'm like, what do I do with these? And I'm lining them up because I want them, they're cut from the same piece of paper, and I want them to be in the order so that that kind of flows together. But then I'm like, wait a minute, look at my sketch. Whoops. Okay, now I've got to pull those 2 panels off of there. And I'm trying to pull them up gently, but I do rip some of the backing off of the paper that I took off. And I'm just cleaning it up a little bit, but it doesn't matter because it's going to cover, everything will cover it up. So I just proceed on, no harm, no foul. But I left my blooper in just to show you mistakes are made every day, and they're certainly overcome. Paper is very forgiving. So I'm just kind of figuring out how I want to get these lined up on here to kind of make them look right. I laid that first one down and glued it pretty quickly, and I should have lined them up first so that I had a good even spacing, but I'm just going to work with what I've got here. As you can see, I'm kind of throwing my hands up in the air. I've made a mess of it. So I'm just going to get these coffee papers all lined up and laid down on here. Now today we actually got some snow that actually stuck to the ground. This is the first, I guess, real snow that we've had where we've actually got some snow laying on the ground. And it snowed, I think it started snowing like at 4 or 5 in the morning, and it snowed up off and on, not heavy at all, until, I don't know, probably a little after noon or 1. And so we've got a little bit of ground cover, and we haven't had any all season. So this is the first. So not too bad. What is it? January 6th. Not too bad at all. Okay, so now I'm laying these panels back down again. And now this is where they're supposed to go on there. And I've decided that instead of the kind of circle, quarter circle, where you cut quarters of it off, I'm just going to bring in this ephemera from the Not Too Shabby. It's got the little cupcake and the little, I don't know if that's iced coffee or what that is. And there's another little cupcake, and I thought I could put it right over the top of the cupcake that's on there and just add some dimension. So that's what I'm doing here. And I thought I would do that rather than the quarter circle that the sketch shows. And obviously you can, you know, take your own liberties and modify the sketch in however you want to. Now I'm grabbing for the ephemera and spilling it, and a good part of it went on the floor, so I'm down there scooping it up right now. And I'm going to go through this and find what coffee sentiment I'd like to put on there, what will look best with what I've got here as far as the colors. It's pretty busy with that coffee pattern paper, and so I'm just trying to decide what will work best. And then I decide I like to bring some more of that dark back in. So I'm going with the heart, and I'm just going to bring in some foam squares and pop it up and get it laid down on there. And I'm anxiously awaiting, I don't know if I've said this already on my channel or not, I'm anxious to get through these 3 and the next 3 so that I can start my next set, because Kendra did a bonus and it's so cute. I can't wait to start working on it. I did today finish cutting all the papers for it, and I'm getting my elements together so that I'll be able to do another set. And they're going to be a Valentine's set. This is a coffee, almost fall color type set here. And then we're going to go in a completely different direction with pink and light pink and white. And it's going to be real fun. So I'm excited to get to that. Just looking forward to it. So I've laid my 3 enamels. The sketch does show the 3 enamels laying on there, but I've done mine slightly different. So we'll just set this aside and let's move on to number 11. And for this one, I brought in the coffee mug with the latte design from Cat Scrappiness, and I'm going to use it, and we're going to use it for another coffee themed card. My last set, I kind of deviated from the coffee a little bit because I was just kind of getting tired of it, but we're going to just keep moving along with this. And I see that my panel or my card base one is off. So I'm just going off to my guillotine and chopping it down and making it work. And then we'll just kind of go with it. And I'm going to lay these panels down that go on the sides. But then I realized this, the cuttings, I don't know if you guys experienced this with the cutting for the sheet loads. The measurements, it was, let me see on this one, it was these are 1-inch strips, and we have 2 of those, so 2 inches, and then we had a 2.5-inch panel. So that's a 1/4 inch too wide for an A2 size card. So I decided to lay these middle panels down first, and I would overlap the brown panels, I guess 1/8 of an inch on each side. I don't know if you guys experienced that or not, but I did. And since I cut that panel down a little bit, I'm going to have to cut these brown pieces down a little bit, but it'll be fine. And I'm just going to get them laid down. And like I said, I'm going to overlap them from those center pieces 1/8 of an inch on each side, roughly. And then we'll just have that Spellbinders Dune paper just showing in that corner. And after I got going with this, I almost wished I hadn't used that piece of paper, because it's going to be almost completely covered up, and it really was kind of a waste for me to put that on there with that good cardstock. I could have just saved that panel and just laid it right down on my card base, but I wasn't thinking about that at the time. So my coffee cup will almost completely cover that Dune cardstock, so I really should have saved that and made better use of it. So I'm just going to bring in some of those foam squares that I'm trying to use up. I'm almost there, they're almost gone, and get my coffee cup popped up. And I went very simplistic with the coffee cup. I basically just stamped it on some of that Tuscan paper, and I stamped on the little floret design or floral design that came with the coffee cup, and then I just did my latte with some cream paper, and I used I don't know, Distress Oxide ink to ink it up, and just kept it really simple. I did that off camera. And just getting all the backings off. And I'm touching them to see if I've pulled it off yet or not. But there, we've got them all off. Now we'll just get this laid down on a card base. And then we've got another coffee card. And I'm trying to find a sentiment that I think I'd like to use on there with this ephemera, trying to get this ephemera used up. And I know there's one I want. It's the lighter tone one, and I can't find it. So I'm fiddling around with some other ones. And then eventually I find it. There it is. I want to use this lighter one. I just feel like it's a pretty dark card, and I'd like to bring some lightness to it. So I grab this one, and I just pop it up. And I'll get this laid down on the card base if I can get the backing off. And so that'll finish up that card. We've got another little coffee themed card. Now I'll move on to sketch 12. And this one I'm decided to deviate from the coffee theme. I brought in some more of that not too shabby paper to use as a panel instead of my cardstock. And I'm going to use the floral pattern, and so or the leafy pattern. So I'm going to bring in a leaf die cut and go a little different direction with this card. And you can see I've got sketch 12 up there. It's basically 3 pieces of the pattern paper from the cutting, and then you're going to bring in some background panels and a circle. But in lieu of the circle, I'm going to use this leafy die. And that leafy die is Gina K. And I'm going to use the white backer on it just to lighten it up a little bit. Just getting it all laid down and trying to wipe the glue off my fingers. When I'm doing a bunch, I get a lot of glue on there. Trying to keep track of that pen and keep my glue bottle from getting gummy on me. Just constantly fighting that. So I'm just going to get this dark brown Spellbinders Essential cardstock laid down. I don't know what the name of it is. I'll try to link it in the description box below. And it'll be the basis for our pieces of cut paper. So I'm going to lay this with the leafy side up, and I'm trying to decide on that brown piece. And I'm going to get it all laid down on there. And I think I'm going to go with it like this. So we'll just get these glued down. And this will make for a fast card. Try to make sure I've got it lined up straight. I don't know, maybe the pattern papers kind of got me thinking that it might be crooked. Sometimes when you get lines, and if you don't get the lines cut exactly straight, it can make you think you're laying it down on there crooked. So just trying to line this up, and now we're going to just bring in our leafy die and get some glue around there and lay it down on that white hammer mill paper, and then get it added to our card. So I'm just looking out the window. It stopped snowing. I think we're supposed to get some more later this week. So my husband did go to the store over the weekend and kind of got everything that we might need in case we did get snow. So we're all stocked up and ready, and I don't mind the snow since I'm not going anywhere. I did my running around yesterday. I was able to hit some of the craft stores and early before my husband and I went to dinner, and did a little running around. So I'm in good shape now. So it can just snow if it wants to, and it won't bother me a bit. So I like that. I think that looks pretty on there, and it's a nice change from all the coffee embellishments that I've done. I mean, how many coffee cards do I need? So that looks really pretty, I think, and I like that. And then I'm going to dig through this little, you've seen me pull this little dish in, and it's got little things on here that I have embossed and glimmer foiled and just all kinds of things. And I've got this thank you sentiment that is on that Dune cardstock, and I'm just going to add a couple strips of foam, and I'm going to make this a thank you card. And I think it'll turn out really pretty. So I was happy with this one when I got done with it. have a tendency to like things a little bit cleaner and a little simpler, not quite as busy. And I think the flower and the thank you sentiment kind of toned this down a little bit, and I like that. So that finishes up sketches 10, 11, and 12. I hope you liked them. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Take care. Bye-bye.